Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Niara Alexis, and like the title says, today we're going to be trying the new foundation from Mercier. This is called the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. So I'm going to give it a try, tell you guys what I think about it. So let's get into it. I do just want to say, I feel like I can see it a little bit like on the viewfinder right here, if you can see my phone, because we're multitasking. The shade I got in this is sepia, I never know how to say that. It's 5C1. And I feel like they had a pretty decent shade range of this. This is what the packaging looks like. I love the packaging. As soon as I saw it, I was like, Laura. And I will just say, this is the first Laura Mercier foundation I've ever tried. I've never tried any of her complexion products, foundation, concealers. The only thing I have ever used is the setting powder and like some of the like eyeshadows and primers. Oh no, I take that back. I do use the Laura Mercier tinted skin tint, and I'll put the shade up that I use of that if you think I'm a shade twin with you. I'm not gonna go too much into reading like facts about it. Some of those will pop up, you know, somewhere here on the screen. So if you want a little bit more detail about it, I just want to get right into trying this. I sprayed a little bit of like a face mist on my skin because I like my skin to be nice and hydrated before I apply any sort of foundation. And right now I'm just putting a primer on. This is the Huda Beauty water jelly primer, and I really like this primer. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the shade. So like I said, 5C1 sepia is the shade that I got, and I'm just gonna be putting a little bit on the side of my face there. So if you see that, looks a little bright, but I feel like it's gonna be fine. Yes, exactly what I thought. Like once you blend it out, it looks fine. This one does have a little bit more of like a reddish undertone. I don't feel like my skin is that red. Also, if y'all see like stuff on my neck, it's like from my rinse. Don't pay no mind. I did order this online, so I wasn't able to shade match in a store. If I shade matched in a store, I probably would have gotten a different shade because it does look a little red, but it's nothing that's like crazy unbearable. Look, it was difficult to shade match online because they had the shade matcher little tool on Sephora, and every foundation I was trying to like shade match myself with, it was saying, sorry, we don't have a match for you. And I was like, wait, what? So you might want to go try it in store. One pump onto the back of my hand, and I'm going to put this all over. Oh, but you know what? I think I might need more than one pump. She's looking a little reddy. She's looking a little red, but it's okay. Like I said, it's nothing that's crazy, like oh, you should not be wearing that shade. And I'm just gonna do another pump on my hand to apply to my forehead. One thing I will say is this feels like very weightless. Like, what is it? It's called Real Flawless Weightless. Yes, weightless is true. It feels very light on your skin. It doesn't feel very heavy. All right, so that is one full layer all over. Like I said, the shade match is not perfect, but it does what I need it to do. And I would say this gives you about like medium coverage. I have hyperpigmentation on my cheeks. We've talked about it before, and that's always like my telltale sign of if I'm getting full coverage or like medium coverage. And I can still see some of my like dark marks there, so I'm just gonna go over it just like a little bit. I actually prefer medium coverage foundations because I feel like full coverage foundations just look a little bit too cakey on me. So I'm just going over it with like whatever was left on the back of my hand. I did not pump any more products out. Now that I've done that, I do want to do an oil and powder test. For those of you who are new here who've never seen my foundation reviews, I always like to test to see how much oil a foundation is giving off, and if that can be rectified with a powder. So I usually have my translucent powder here, but I cannot find it right now. So I'm using the Laura Mercier Honey translucent powder. First, I'm going to take one of these little oil blotting sheets. I keep these in my purse. On this side is gonna be like our side with no foundation or no powder or anything, okay? So I'm just gonna press it in and just see how much it's like picking up and giving off. And this usually to me is a good indicator of like, do I absolutely have to wear a setting powder with this? Is it okay if I don't? Now this paper is sticking and you can see it's starting to get a little dark, which for me is like a telltale sign that like it's picking up something. It's either picking up a lot of product or it is very oily. Now on this side that was facing outward, that's where I can see like what oil was giving off. And it did darken up a little bit, but this foundation does transfer quite a bit. So it was sticking because it was holding onto the foundation. I don't know if you guys can like see that really well, but that is a lot of, I won't even say a lot, but it's a decent amount of foundation. Now I'm going to take a powder brush and I'm just taking a little bit of the Honey translucent powder and I'm going to apply it in the same spots down here on the other side of my face. So now you see that how it's like barely sticking, like it doesn't even want to hold on. There's no oil on here and there is virtually no transfer. So I just want to like hold it up to like the first one that we did. You see like all of the product that is on this sheet. There's like virtually none on this side. And then if you flip it over, it was never giving off like too much oil, but this sheet like is no oil. So you're definitely gonna wanna wear a setting powder with this. I wear a setting powder with like most foundations anyway, but if you're trying not to transfer and you're trying to like last for a while without like having a lot of oil like transferring through and coming through on your makeup, you definitely want to apply a setting powder. And you know what, because this is a Laura Mercier setting powder and a foundation, I would not be surprised if they formulated this foundation to work very well with the setting powder in general. We've done our test, we applied it, we've seen the color payoff and everything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I think at the end. Okay y'all, so this is how the foundation, this is how my makeup turned out with the Laura Mercier foundation. I also just want to say I do have like a full tutorial on how I did this hair because I think it came out good, but honestly y'all, it's not that different. I do the same thing to my hair almost every time. The products might change a little bit. Like I said, I do think it's like a medium coverage foundation with like one coat. But I do think it's something that you could build up, as you saw like when I was putting it on my cheeks. I like the way the foundation came out. It came out very pretty, and it is very, very, very lightweight. That's one thing I will say. Like it doesn't feel like there is much on my skin, which I feel like more and more brands are like learning how to like perfect that and get that that lightweight, flawless, like not flawless but weightless feel. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say she maybe gets like an 8. Because I feel like even though I didn't feel like the color match was like that great initially, I feel like it looks fine now. And I feel like they have a decent enough range. Could there be more shades? I do feel like there could be a few more shades, but I feel like it's a good enough shade range to start with. I like the feel of it. I love how it was able to blend into my skin and able to really like sink into the skin, I feel like, and all my other products play very well with it. And then we also did do the transfer test and the setting powder test, like the oil payoff. You did get quite a bit of transfer and a little bit of oil payoff without setting powder, but once I threw setting powder on this, it was perfectly fine. This isn't a wear test or anything, so do not ask me how this wears throughout the day. I have absolutely no idea because I am at home. And when I'm done filming this, I'm probably gonna take this makeup off and make my dinner and drink some wine. I will say I probably am going to keep this foundation. I'm always very transparent with you guys of if I feel like I'm gonna return something or if I'm gonna keep it. And I do think I'm gonna keep this foundation. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. Leave a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time.